let's jump into running back. We got top 5.
So as always, Josh Jacobs, number 1. Then I got Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, number 4, even though I do have Damian Harris returning this week. He's just that good right now. And then Austin Eckler, number 5.
Okay. So I have Eckler number 1, Jacobs 2, Derrick Henry 3, McCaffrey 4, and Nick Chubb 5th.
Nice. It's pretty close, but that is interesting to see you having Eckler number 1. How many rush attempts do you have him going for?
Probably about 13, 14.
That's probably where we're slightly different.
Yeah, about 14.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like 12. So that makes sense. That's
his
about
median is 13.5. His average is significantly lower. So he's had a couple of games. I think it was like that week. Was it week 1? I don't know. There's a couple of games where he just had like no rushing attempts, but yeah, I think he's gonna get a lot of work in the pass game, as usual. But we'll see. All right, who are you high
on? So I'm high on DeAndre Swift. He's my RB12 to begin the week, which is kind of crazy. But we were kind of talking about him a little bit before Convince Me. Just Deuce Staley was talking him up. And Swift, he looked really good on Thanksgiving. He almost scored that touchdown, but it was a really hard run. And I said Deuce Staley was the first guy to come up and congratulate him. So I actually ended up betting the over on his 20.5 rushing yard prop, this week. And, he just went off 14 carries for 62 yards and a touchdown, 4 catches, 49 yards in the passing game. He just looks like he's 100% now. And this offense can support 2 running backs. And this is going to be a very high scoring game. So DeAndre Swift, no matter which kind of game script this goes, I do think the Lions win here. It doesn't matter. He's going to thrive in either game script. And obviously Jamal's going to be the early, down goal line back, but Swift can carve out enough fantasy value in this offense. So he's a high end RB2 this week. Again, there's 6 teams on bye, so that has a lot to do with it. But I like what I saw from Swift this week. And, he was drafted as an RB1 to begin the season. So I think people get that, that type of value going forward. So I love him this week. And the other guy that surprised me was I have James Conner RB9 to begin the week. I think his ECR is like something crazy, like RB22. But he's coming off a bye week where he saw massive usage heading into the bye week. He's going to be 100% fresh, ready to go. And the game right before the bye week, he had an 85% routes run rate. So this game against the Patriots, again, Connor's game script proof. He could thrive in a run heavy game script, a game script where they have to come behind. Plus, with Marquise Brown back, this offense could provide him with more goal line chances too. So I think he's closer to what we saw last year when, Chase Edmonds went down. He was a stud, high-end RB1. That's kind of what we're getting from Connor right now. So I think he's a low-end RB1 here against the Patriots.
Yeah, he's getting back to that use. I mean, that's probably some of the reason they released Benjamin, because Benjamin seemed to be mad that he wasn't included in a game plan, because Connor is just starting to get all the snaps again now that he's healthy. So yeah, I have him as a low in RB1 as well. I am high on James Cook. I think you talked about him last week, and that was a great call. But he looks like he's started to take over the backfield for Devin Singletary. Last week he had more of the design runs, a higher percentage, 48 to 45%. And he started to finally get a decent amount of routes out of the backfield as well. Ended up running a route on 41% of Josh Allen's dropbacks compared to 35% for Singletary. And Hines also mixed in for 27%. So they kind of split that 3 ways. But Cook has essentially became the lead back in that game. And now, you have a nice break, like a 10 day rest period. So I think he's going to continue to see a bigger workload here. So I have him RB 20 and he's RB 30 in consensus. So yeah, he had 14 carries and 6 targets in that game against New England. All right, who you low on?
Yeah, so I'm kind of piggybacking your James Cook take here. Is Devin Singletary I'm low on. He's right around RB 28 for me to start the week, but again, James Cook has been outplaying Singletary all season, but last week is the first time Cook had more rush attempts and saw a higher routes run rate than Singletary. Singletary only ran a route on 35% of Allen's dropbacks, which was by far the lowest rate of the season. And just to make matters worse, I think you alluded to it, just Naheem Hines also saw an increase in usage. So there's usually not enough touches to go around for the Bills to support a 2 to 3-way running back committee. So it's just really hard to trust Singletary. I do think that we can trust James Cook right now. The needle's pointing up on him. He was a very good prospect coming into this season. So I think he's only going to go up in usage, and that's going to come at the expense of Singletary. So even though there's a ton of teams on bye this week, we can't trust Singletary here. And the other back I'm low on is Jeff Wilson. He's my RB 24 this week. Raheem Mostert, he dominated playing time and touches against the 49ers. Wilson only had 1 carry for 3 yards on the ground. And he struggled the previous week against the Texans. So this is now back-to-back duds for Wilson. He also dropped a pass last week. So, his routes run rate fell to the lowest rate they've been since joining Miami at 38%. I'm wondering if that drop pass had something to do with that. But despite having a great matchup this week against the Chargers, it's just hard to trust Wilson. So he's a low-end RB2. Same thing with Mostert. This could go either way this week. They could flip roles. So it's just a dicey situation. But there's so many teams on a bye. They're still low-end RB2s here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the matchup is great. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could conceivably both go up, but the fact that in consensus you have Wilson, ranked as the RB19, Mostert is the RB28. I think both of them should be ranked closer to where Mostert is just because of the uncertainty. I am low on Wilson as well, and another one is Gus Edwards. Another guy that's just been kind of hard to peg. Thought he would. He had been kind of leading that backfield, and then last week they worked all 3 guys in, and Edwards only got 6 carries and played only 24% of the snaps. So, he's the ECR running back 29, but I think he should be in the mid to low 30s. Just because he's not really doing anything in the pass game, and that's kind of how you can bail yourself out sometimes as a running back when the game script goes against you. But with Edwards, it's if he doesn't get those 15 carries or goal line touchdown or something, it's not really going to be worth it with him. So I have him at RB 36.
And I think Dobbins will return this week, or it looks more likely.
Yeah.
Right. So that's just going to make it even tougher to trust Gus.
Yeah. I mean, somebody might have to be a scratch too. Like it could be Drake, I guess. I mean, it's.
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, they're underdogs this week, which is surprising, but it might be Drake or Justice Hill even. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, he'll play special teams, I believe. So it probably would be one of the other 3, which is, it's interesting. All right. Where are you going for the running back prop?
All right, I got a fun one for us. So, most rushing yards between Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott against the Texans. This is a tricky one to project. So, I have Pollard minus 5.5. Who are you going with that spread?
I'll still go Pollard. I just think he's I think he's more likely to break a long run, especially against a defense like the Texans who give up a ton of explosive plays. Like Zeke probably will get more carries. I mean, he did last week, so you'd think he would again. But the Texans are dead last in explosive rush rate allowed at 17.5% for runs of 16 yards or more. Oh, excuse me. I mean, at 11.3%. Excuse me. But they're bad at giving up explosive plays. So I'll go Pollard minus 5.5.